긴 경기장 도시형.
All right, guys, here we are on Shakuris Plateau, and in the blue, at the top left part of the map, from the team ReIGN, their newest player, it is Axslav. And on the right side of the map, in the orange, getting 2 wins already for his team ZeNEX, it is Life.
Yes, it is, and he's been playing very well, as you mentioned before. I mean, you know, obviously, Kiwikaki, I'm just going to say it, kind of invited what happened to him last game, you know? Not just the break in the wall or anything like that, but, you know, spent a lot of resources on the Zealots early, didn't have a lot sitting back at his base. ZeNEX.Life picked up on it right away.
Yeah, I don't think he even had a sentry when that hit as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to a certain extent, that is true. There is also the whole thing of the Korean skill check, is what I like to call it, where you'll see a lot of Korean players go for something that is not necessarily all the way all in, but something early and aggressive just to kind of test out their opponent if they haven't played them before. And that's kind of what happened. And unfortunately, Kiwikaki did not pass that test. So we are on to game 3.
Yes, we are, and it looks like Axslav is going to start with some sort of a early expand builds, probably of the Forge variety, but there's certainly I mean, it's very risky to Nexus first against a Zerg player in any way, shape, or form, especially one who's been showing as strong of early aggression as Life has. But let's see here, back on Axslav's side. Yes, he does have that Forge appearing up at the front. Worker on worker action there. Probe running away scared after he loses his shields.
Yep. Now, I'm really curious to see what Axslav is going to do. I admit I haven't seen a whole... What? Okay, that's a proxy hatchery. All right.
Yes, it
and
is.
Is he going to cancel that and put an Evo chamber there? Or is he going to go full-on cheese with this?
Oh, man. This is...
All right.
All right, this is getting pretty fun.
He knows about our question today, apparently. He wants to have his chance. He wants some people to pick him. And a pylon there. Not quite the same. He could have put a Nexus, I suppose, but just didn't quite work out. Well, I mean, you can cannon rush the hatchery, but...
Yes, you can.
And I don't know. It's a kind of an interesting choice from Life. I would have to imagine he's going to cancel this and maybe do like an Evo chamber or just kind of be content with delaying things for a while.
Right.
Since his, you know, he can't put down his own hatchery quite yet as well, so it's not exactly like he needs the minerals right now.
And Life looks like he's going to take his third, as a lot of people will do. He's going to move down here, take this spot, and then he'll work on taking out the pylon in just a second.
Yep.
But, yeah, hatchery's starting to get pretty close to completed. A second photon cannon on the way as well. Actually, it's a pretty smart decision by Axslav there to go after the Overlord and push that back, because he knows the hatchery's either going to get canceled or it's going to go down one way or another. It's not going to be that long of a delay in time.
Well, we know he's not going to let it finish. It's just going to be... He's not going to let that finish, is he?
He just let that finish.
Okay, well, so he really wants to delay the Nexus for Axslav.
Yes.
This is an interesting idea by Life. I mean, we already know he has his own hatchery out there. He basically is like, I want you to try to all-in me. I want you to one-base me because I feel like whatever you do, I'll be able to respond to it and beat it.
Yep.
That's kind of what Life is saying here. He's kind of saying, come at me, bro, you know?
Yep, that's basically it. And Axslav is responding to the pressure now because it looks like he is going to counter-cannon his opponent in just a second. So, looks like Larvae get away. There are a few lings sitting there. And the Overlord does go down.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's not easy to lose an Overlord to a cannon, but ZeNEX.Life has found a way.
Yep.
Oh, and he doesn't know about this cannon rush from
Axslav.
Axslav.
He's not going up the ramp. He did check around to make sure there was nothing out of his vision underneath, but didn't go up to the high ground there, and that could present some pretty big challenges. Oh, look at that, a photon cannon sitting at his natural as well, so we have possibly the most delayed game in SC2 history now.
Axslav is just responding to this perfectly. I mean, it's kind of like the little trump card. It's like, all right, so you're going to do that to my Nexus? Well, have you heard of this thing called the photon cannon? And how, like, it kills all of your buildings if you don't pay attention to where they are? Yeah, that's going to make sure you're going to be on one base. You know what's worse than being a one-base Protoss? Being a one-base Zerg. So what are you going to do about it, Life?
All right. Well, he is going to try and take down this photon cannon for one, and that'll probably be canceled. It's not canceled, actually, but Axslav now going to have to defend as best as possible. If this pylon goes down, that'd be very bad, but it looks like, unfortunately, he's just going directly after the photon cannon. I don't think he has enough to take that down right now.
Looks like he does. He's going to get the one on the high ground, but...
Yeah, with the reinforcements,
the Queen might get taken out, though.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of resources being used by Life to do this.
By both players. I mean, this has just been, like I said, we have about the most delayed game ever now, as ZeNEX.Life has not even started Zergling research. We're at 6.5 minutes, or Zergling speed, I'm sorry, so... Okay.
Huh. All right.
Well, then.
Interesting. He doesn't kill the pylon either, so if Axslav can warp things in there later if he wants to, I guess.
Yes, he can.
Or just recannon, too. I mean, you can also do that.
All right.
Well,
so how about that? How about them apples?
And supplies exactly even.
Yeah.
Well, they were anyway at the 7-minute mark, 35 to 35.
Yep. All right.
And,
so, okay. Well, it looks like finally the pylon's going to get taken down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should. So let's take a look at the worker count. That's going to be
right.
something interesting to see. 32 to 28.
Yep.
So you can definitely see the ability of Chrono Boost. Axslav has not been skipping probes at all, really, with this. He's been planning on expanding anyway, so now he's going to have a nice big economy going when that Nexus does finally finish. Going for the Stargate as well. And the nice thing with this is that the bases are really spread out right now for ZeNEX.Life. So with some good control, he could pretty easily pick off the one queen at that third hatchery and do a lot of damage with that. I would imagine Life has got to be thinking about putting down an Evo chamber right now. He's a good player would think of this eventuality in this case.
Yeah, certainly that's going to happen here in just a second.
3 more gates, too. Okay.
Axslav going for +1 and 3 more gates, as a matter of fact. So maybe just a delayed version of that Void Ray +1 attack.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just kind of a delayed version of a normal build for Protoss, and that's kind of the best thing you can do in a case like this is just try to get back on track to a normal game. And at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like Axslav is in a better position overall than a Life, rather.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, he's going to be able to do some significant warp-ins in a second. He's still sitting on pretty good amount of workers. I mean, to only be down by 4 workers right now and have been on even bases with the Zerg opponent all the way through. I mean, I realize that this was a crazy start to the game, but through the 10-minute mark, that's still very significant.
Yeah, okay. So Void Ray on the way now for Axslav. It's getting pretty close to being done. That Roach Warren is going to be up, but if he wants to use those roaches, ZeNEX.Life is going to have to start pumping those out right away.
And you would think you would see some upgrades for those roaches. We still don't have an evolution chamber yet, so
no Evo chamber,
no spore crawlers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Life is kind of just planning on Axslav trying some sort of big gateway pressure here.
Right.
But I think the Zealot +1 Void Ray route is a much better way to go. Unfortunately, he's got a big map to walk across. It's going to give Life plenty of time to get ready for this.
Sure.
So it still might not work out. It really all depends on how Life responds. He's got a big supply advantage right now, but what you have to keep in mind is a lot of that is in drones. It's not in actual fighting units.
And there we go. Double Evo chambers coming out now as Axslav is finally making his way out. This is revealed. The Zergling sees it, so we'll see how ZeNEX.Life reacts. Of course, 3 more queens immediately. Just as soon as he saw the Void Ray, 3 more queens popping out because he needs a delay until those spore crawlers can get up as well. And those queens are oh so useful in defending this.
Okay, and Axslav deciding to go for the natural rather than the third as well.
Yeah.
Interesting choice. I don't know if that was the best option for him. Obviously, there's creep connecting pretty much everything, so Life would have been able to respond anyway, but you know, it seems like it'd stand to reason that you'd have a hard time breaking into the natural in this situation than the third. So just sending the Void Rays on ahead to try to do some damage.
Yep, and we do have, looks like +1 attacks coming up, and a Hydraless Den did just finish as well, so Axslav is going to have to back up with those units. Overseer sees everything inside of his base. Don't think he's going to lose one of the Void Rays. Nice job to send the hurt Void Ray ahead and delay the uninjured one, so it would take a little shield damage.
Yeah, a little bit of Roach push coming in from ZeNEX.Life here, but Axslav has some Zealots, he has some Sentries as well.
Yeah.
But he decides to force field his own Zealots away from the Roaches. The Roaches can't fire, but still, it's a dangerous situation here. Oh, he's actually going after his own cybernetic score apparently now.
Out. And
don't know if he really wants to be doing that.
And let's see here. I think he's just trying to open the wall right now, but
well, if he's not getting a Twilight Council, I would think the Forge would be a better answer, because Stalkers are pretty good against Roaches last time I checked.
Yeah, I thought he had one, but I guess I am mistaken.
Well, he's making 2 Immortals, actually. We missed the double
there it
robo,
is. Yeah,
so
Twilight
he's
Council.
going to be fine here. Oh, he was making another Cyber Core. All right, apparently I'm not paying attention at all to what Axslav is doing, so forget everything I just said.
No problem.
He's fine.
Yeah, but you know what? His opponent has not gone into a lot of Spore Crawlers or anything like that, though. In fact, he's actually just completely leaning away from Roaches, which Axslav doesn't know quite yet, and going into Hydraless. So he is pumping out 2 Immortals at a time, yes, but that's still an army that's going to be susceptible to Hydralisks.
Yeah, Immortals get owned by Hydras, so
yeah,
it will be a little bit difficult.
All right. Well, there are a few gateway units on the ground as Axslav is going to his 3rd now, but his opponent is amassing a huge Hydra Roach army.
Yeah, this is going to be just a ton of damage, and you know what? He's actually going to drop those as well.
Sacks, yep.
He's got that almost finish here. And I think he might just actually try to drop that in the main. Oh, but there are some Phoenixes there.
Oh, nice. Oh, but I'm sorry. The Hydralisks are sitting underneath, though, and two of the Phoenixes just die right away, especially with those +1 attacks. It's a huge DPS output from those Hydras.
At least Axslav kind of knows what's coming now. With that amount of Overlords flying in that with the units right under it, he should know that Life is going to be planning on doing some drop play.
Yeah, I would think so as well. He's got a lot of Photon Cannons at his third. Hasn't really produced a lot of defense, though, at his natural or anything.
Yep. Will Axslav pull back to his main in time? Thank you, pinging mystery person.
Yes, we saw the
He does have a Phoenix patrolling, so we can see it.
Yes, and he is going to pick up on this, so we'll see if Life changes his tune here in a second. Looks like Axslav was moving through the middle of the map, as a matter of fact. He's got to start rallying back his air units, though, to take down a couple of those in the meantime. One Hydralisk individually is dropped off, though. The Phoenix is going to get away from that, no problem.
It's a big drop here. Does Axslav have what it takes to defend it? Not right there, no, and he's going to have a hard time pushing this out of his base.
Yes, he is. He's got some more units rallying in now, so Axslav does have enough at the moment, and most of these units are actually just going after gateways and stuff. That's allowing Axslav to get a pretty good engagement over here at his base, but one of the Void Rays has fallen. Second one gets away just barely.
Wow, yeah, I mean, Life really could have controlled that quite a bit better here. His units were all kind of scattered throughout the base.
I think he has enough, though, that
barely,
this is enough damage done.
There's still stuff in the back that's not shooting the army, and that's going to be a problem for Axslav.
Yeah.
All right, losing much. Most of his army in the main, and then the reinforcements coming from behind. About 100 supply lead right now for our Zerg player.
Right.
So despite Axslav's best efforts, things just not working out too well for him this game.
No, unfortunately not. His opponent just going into heavy 3-base macro mode now, just continuing to pump out a ton of units. Has a Spire coming up as well.
Yep.
And, well, he did just run headlong into 4 Immortals. 2 of those went down, though, so not a bad job.
So much stuff, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Zelts were kind of trapped on the ramp for a good long time as well. And Life is just doing so much damage to Axslav that it might be kind of hard to recover at this point.
Right. Those 4 Photon Cannons delaying for a little while along with those Zealots until everything else can catch up, but you're absolutely right. A 60, increasing the 70 supply advantage now. The Immortals, nice and powerful with +2 attacks, but there are just so many Roaches that keep flooding in for Life.
Yep. First Colossus is out for Axslav as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, normally Roaches are really good against, or Colossi, rather. No, what am I trying to say? I can't think of the name of the unit. Immortals are usually good against Roaches.
Yes.
But
when there's
these
that
types
many
of numbers, when it's only Immortals.
Yeah. Yeah, no, especially they're great sitting behind force fields or behind Zealots and ranging out the Roaches. But in this circumstance, not going to work out all that well. Axslav, though, just being a champ just to stay in this game so far. All right, it looks like probes are being pulled off the line, and that is definitely a last-ditch effort. Now, a lot of Hydralisks in the mix as well, and they just tear through gateway units and Immortals.
Yep, tear through basically everything here.
Yeah.
So Axslav having to abandon that third base, and once he does that, it's going to be nearly impossible to catch up. Axslav basically just looks dead right now. I mean, fortunately for ReIGN, it looks like they're going to go down 0-3 here.
Yeah, as now that third has gone down. Life not even worrying about putting up a 4th base, as he is just continuing to press and press and press off of 3. And now lifting into the main. There's not a lot sitting there at the moment. A few units are finally making their way back, but of course that'll give Life what he needs to run right through the front as well. Yeah,
Life's showing some really unique strategies here in these series, but I feel like to a certain extent he's kind of just playing around right now. He's done a really good job of adapting to different situations. And there's a GG for Axslav. The game's over, but Life takes a 3-0 lead for ZeNEX.